Hope it's recording.
Okay, so second semester, yay! So what are y'all covering in January?
I'm
What type of
starting
stuff?
with Mendel, and then we're going to get into each of the different types of problems and
Mhm.
the types of genetics problems. But I also do a section on genetic disorders and have them kind of deeper explore
Okay.
that type of information.
Okay, that'll work with what I'm doing for sure.
Okay. Since we tie in research skills at any point in the semester, our goal is to have the students research a JSTOR article and work through it, annotate it, discuss it, and hopefully pull up information and facts they can use eventually in your class for the blogs and websites they're creating. Is that
Yeah.
true? Okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Well, they could even find an article that relates to maybe one of the specific diseases or disorders that they're going
Because
to
that's
cover.
what we're doing is we're finishing up the diabetic thing real quick, finally. And now they're gonna find out poor Anna has sickle cell anemia.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
So they're gonna find it out through the autopsy report and the medical history, and they're gonna start off by exploring, what are the different components of blood, and they'll do some microscope work to look at sickle cell blood compared to normal blood, and then they'll centrifuge down and try and get a hematocrit to sort of do a little bit of looking at that, and they'll go into genetics from there, because
Okay.
it's an autosomal recessive trait.
Yeah.
So that ties in beautifully with what y'all are
Yes,
doing,
it
because
does,
we'll
yeah.
go into, they'll even do a little bit of what I know y'all do in biology sometimes, with the genetic code, and then they'll get into DNA, and I think
Yeah.
y'all did that last semester,
Yeah,
didn't you?
and we actually did a couple of their example problems. We're comparing a segment of DNA of normal blood versus sickle cell blood. So
Mhm.
it should be kind
That'll
of
be perfect.
a little bit of previous
Yeah.
information to pull up.
Okay, so do you think there are JSTOR articles that would be appropriate?
So my question, I've started looking at JSTOR articles, and then I feel like they've already learned about Mendel.
Mhm.
So what would you like what would you like the article to be? It could be on a specific kind of genetic disease. It could be on genetic diseases on the whole. I was wondering, because there's so much out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull one because I think we decided we'd rather just find the article instead of them finding it, because we also want to go over APA stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
documentation.
And that would be great, because
I
they
wonder
definitely have to do that.
I feel like in general would be good, but maybe even sickle cell,
Okay.
because then we could pick up the kids that aren't in the biomed pathway.
Mhm.
We could still pick up those kids and they would still have
Mhm.
more background information on sickle cell than just the little bit that we
Mhm.
cover.
That's a good idea.
So
And-
that might be,
I don't know if you'll run into anything like this, but I know in ours, it talks, in the past years, they've had some work with, they talk about Henrietta Lacks, and, her cells still living, the chromosomes still living, and how they've done all the research and everything that comes out of that. And they're starting to take that out of this first year and move it to the third year, because they think, I guess that's a little too
It's too
early for
much.
some of what they do. So you may find something also with all the research that's been done with hers that may connect her somehow.
yeah.
And I don't know if they'll have that, or with sickle cell. In the summer, y'all had them do the omnivorous dilemma, for bio and, for GMOs and
Yeah.
stuff. And, they're now doing a lot of stuff. I know there are a lot of articles out there now about how they're trying to use genetic manipulation that they've learned from the GMOs to now start manipulating genes to cure diseases.
That would be a good.
And you might run across something like some of those, and that might tie all those together.
Okay, good. So even an article on
Like gene
Henrietta
therapy.
Lacks might fit
Mhm.
into this whole
Mhm.
sickle cell
Yeah,
unit. Because I think I did come across a couple, she popped up.
yeah, she's more that, they used her to do that's where all the cancer researchers come from, because they found they could grow hers. We're not gonna get into the debate. I don't think this year, because they are moving it out of this one, but in the past, they've even had them debate the ethics of that, so you may find something on ethics.
That might be something.
Yeah, I think we do want to debate.
And that
this
would
semester.
still be genetics.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's not necessarily on a specific disorder, it'd still be a genetics kind of thing.
That's still enough to.
So that's a
relate.
possibility.
And they were, because we ended first semester in bio with biotechnology, and they're so interested in
They
that.
really
It
are.
is really, really cool for them, and so even if we kind of brought it full circle with the different ways that genetic engineering is helping with the genetic
Right.
diseases, and then we can relate it to sickle cell.
And that's, because I know in Diane's class, in her AP class, they had read the Omnivore's Dilemma for something in the past, some of her sophomores, and they were doing some stuff with biotechnology in the AP Bio, and several of them, the thing they wrote that they really liked about the unit was, so we found out that all GMO is not necessarily bad.
Right.
There are good things, and we
Right.
thought it was all just bad.
Yeah.
So, you know, they had gotten sort of a one-sided impression.
Right.
And I feel like that's really all that's, at least mainstream media, that's all that's out there.
Mhm.
No GMOs, ban GMOs,
And it's on
label your
labels,
food.
labels,
Yeah.
food.
And yet, there's so
And
many
they're-
good things, and it even comes into, where does all the research come from? Well, they have to start with things that aren't human.
Yeah.
And so they can't do stuff for us if
Until
they
they
don't
do.
research in these other ways.
Right.
And so they're seeing a lot of that change. And, you know, even with diabetes, they're hopeful to have some abilities to duplicate your cells and to implant them in the pancreas and create secreting cells.
I think they're even encouraging people to keep baby teeth now.
Really? That's a
Because
new
of
one.
my sister just sent me something on it.
I didn't
It's
know.
because they can gather
Stem cells?
stem cells from the
Wow.
teeth.
Ooh, I have to tell Russ and AJ.
Yes.
I know,
Yes.
that's
Because I would never think to keep.
Mm-mm.
That would be interesting
Baby
even to, like, or to even throw in with part of the debate, or,
Mhm.
I mean, that could become an ethical, like,
Yeah.
people are like taking baby teeth, like, you could talk, I mean, you could go.
But that's.
Yeah, we'd have to bring up some different topics for debate, because you don't want the kids debating. But I think I'd like to put them in groups of 4 where they have a partner
Mhm.
and debate with each other. So I think that's something we'd like to do is some sort of speech debate.
Yeah.
So maybe we can add on, and maybe that would happen at the end of this unit.
Yeah,
Because they
Or-
would have learned so much
Mhm.
in your classes. So we're picking up, like, starting off JSTOR, a little bit of research, and then you're gonna learn, you know, in these 2 classes, then we'll come back
Yeah.
with a topic.
okay. So for the
That
next few weeks, I know in mine, we'll be, you know, finishing up what we're doing, and we'll be starting the sickle cell and learning about it, and, you know, they'll start off, let's see, with what is sickle cell and figuring it out. Then they'll do diary entries of, you know, days in the life, and look at some medical histories of Hannah. And then they're gonna start looking at the DNA code and transcription, and y'all have done that. So we'll work on that, and what they're gonna find in genetics is the mutations that cause the disorders usually come through transcription and translation. And so they're gonna run into that in your articles about that. And so they'll be able to connect that.
So I think the best thing would be to pull an article actually on sickle cell, don't you think?
Okay?
'Cause,
And maybe the cause of it or the effects of it.
causes or effects
Uh-huh.
of sickle
Or,
cell.
and like where it's.
Yeah,
maybe
that
even
actually is
specific.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so broad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
And then it's like, how do you filter through all
Yeah.
all those
And
articles?
and we're even gonna go into attaching hemophilia and things
Oh,
like that
perfect.
with it.
Yeah.
So at the board.
And we talk about, we trace hemophilia through pedigrees, like how is it inherited?
Every day we're
So-
not.
Yeah, and then Henrietta and, yeah, so,
I think next year.
I feel okay
We
about it.
have to.
I,
Yeah.
Yeah, for 10.
Okay, we'll have food.
Okay.
will be 10.
Yes, I think that's
That'd be a good teaser,
Mhm.
kind of talk
Just to
about
get
it.
them going.
And then,
Yeah, I think the plan is.
And then that way they have a little bit of something, a little background to go So we can do a little something for her. Okay?
Whatever you want.
Sounds great. Okay, so we'll get back together in a few weeks.
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.